See what we got here. Yep. See what we've got here. Looks like we're live. Hey, look at that. That's nice. That's nice. You know, and what I like is the fact that we're just going to go. Just going to get this underway because it's a lovely Tuesday here in the neighborhood. So, greetings, one and all. Chris Courtney here, New Pragmatic. It's time for the feedback loop, truncated edition. Accordion hands. We've got Ricardo's in here. We've got Bren's in here. Maddie's in here. And each of you is reviewing the work. And we're going to start that over because it looks like the encoder is struggling a bit. Pick it back up. You've got it. Live streaming. It's fun. All right. Anyway, greetings, one and all. Chris Courtney here. Greetings, one and all. Chris Courtney here, New Pragmatic. It's time for the feedback loop. We've got a trio, a medley of students in here this morning. Maddie's here, Bren's here, Ricardo's here, and each of you are in a slightly different area of the program. So I think it's a useful time to go ahead and share my screen so we can get this underway. So right away, let's start here with Ricardo. So Ricardo, you have fallen into the common trap, and I recognize it through some of the language that you're using. When we read through the questions that you have for the stakeholder, it's very clear that you're thinking about this as a particular type of product. And it comes down to the last one. Can we track COVID-19 through this app? The prompt is about an application. Keep in mind, this is about product design, and the product here is really the business of hosting these events. Can they do it safely? We should not assume that there is an app. If there is a question, it would be, are you using a current platform? Do not immediately jump ahead and think, oh, they've got an app or they've got a website. I wouldn't even begin to think about it. Think about that. Look at what they put into the brief. It said specifically, we're worried about hosting these games. How can we do it safely? What do people feel safe doing? What are our competitors doing? Okay. Some of the stuff that you've asked here makes sense. Like, are you familiar with coaches, trainers, athletic directors in your area? Are there any leaders or hosts to these games? You're getting a sense of what the business is about. What do you think is the biggest challenge? What do you think will be the biggest challenge in getting athletes back to group sports? That's a great question, because then you're looking at, okay, so where is the head at of the person I'm talking to? You're going to have to go do your research on the issue, but where's the person sitting across from you at? Are there specific parks that are most popular? When did you plan on returning? Keep in mind they're looking at the next season. What sports are coming up? Which ones will be most active? Great questions there. A lot of that is, we're heading into winter. So that's a concern. Why do your users choose you over your competitors? That's a great question for a stakeholder. Do you think your users would be interested in building their community virtually? Excellent question. Can I contact other designers that have worked on this project? A good question to ask. Okay, even if the answer is there are no designers, or there's 100 designers, you want to know, like, are they protective of those people? Because that could be an issue with, like, siloing. Like, are they Why are they trying to keep me away from the other people at their organization? So always ask if you can talk. Hey, is there anybody? Are there other people here I should be talking to? But this app bit, it's not. This isn't necessarily building an app. It's looking and making a recommendation on what they should be doing to get their customers coming back to them, and asking, is it even safe to do so? So it's more than just a particular app. It's about making a recommendation. So I'm going to respond to these, but I just wanted to kind of touch on those because the app question specifically was like, ooh, let's not jump ahead of ourselves because we're talking about actually a different problem than that. Okay. Let's look over here at Bryn. Bryn, you had an interesting question, and I think it's dead on. You asked, should I be sorting these people on high? And the answer is yeah. So you start here, and it says, what do you struggle with when it comes to at-home schooling? Well, if somebody we talk about this, you can't ask a question of somebody that they can't answer, and this, like at-home schooling, that would be, I'm a parent, right? Or I'm a student. It could be, a teacher, but teachers aren't going to be referring to it like they're looking at it as remote learning unless they are a teacher with child at home. All right. But what I'm getting at is there's a question that you ask at the top of this, and it's like, have you been impacted by, have you or someone been impacted by the remote learning changes caused by COVID? If the answer is yes, you ask, oh, great, how? And the how is, oh, I'm a teacher, I am a parent, I'm a essential worker who happens to also be a parent, which means they have to go to work, but they have their kids have to be at home, or they're a school administrator. Like there's a number of different questions that you ask, and then frankly, you could have a custom branch of questions for each of those people. So it's not just the same questions go for all groups. You could and that's the thing. It's deceptive to say it's 10 questions, because in many cases it could be 30 questions, but your different groups are only seeing the 10 that apply to them. Okay, so this is very common. You write the questions and you're like, oh yeah, this works, and then you're like, oh wait, there's different people that could hit this. So what I'm going to say right away is what you have here is more in line for parents. What would a teacher's questions and concerns be versus the parents? What about a student? If a student took this, would they be answering the same questions? So there's an adjustment that's needed here, but it's on high. Okay? So there's a bit more work here to do, but your gut instinct, and I can see it. You sat there and you wrote your questions. You're like, yep, I feel it. Wait, like you got to that point where you felt pretty good about it, and then you're like, oh, I am not quite sure who's going to take this, and that's exactly the right question to be asking yourself: is wait, have I covered my bases? So I'm looking for that adjustment on high. That means that there will be branches, okay? But I would fix that, and then let's review again, okay? And then Maddie, you've got a punch list of things here: inconsistent spacing, horizontally, vertically, and Bransley worked on module. Oh, weird. Where did Maddie's thing go? Squarespace is hot lava this morning, so I do apologize. It like just melts. Like, I thought it was up and then it like crashed. Okay. So one thing it would appear is that there's not a lot of controls over to this side. Now, I'm not sure if that's a permissions issue. Boy, really slow loading. Um, eh, okay. So, you're getting into the realm of your work. I do see like some spacing issues through here. Um, and typically there'd be a design panel here where you could get in and we could actually adjust these things. Want to come in here. Let's go to. You said something about your brands that you worked on panel. Oh, yeah, this. Okay, so eh, let's edit this. Yeah, it does feel kind of like it's. Oh, weird. Wait, what? What was that about? It does feel like this is like over to the side. And so much of this, honestly, is it's the same size unit, but what I think you're going to find is that you're going to have to edit these. Like you're going to have to go through and prepare these images for this experience. What I would suggest doing is, I would suggest. Oh, weird. Okay, that never mind. That is off dramatically. But what I suspect has happened is these images are probably different sizes. Like this Oreo image is different. So what you need to do is we need to bring these uh, logos in, make them the same size, and then export them over, so that when these things like plug in together, they just line up. Now, if you tell me that you've already done that and it's doing this, then we have a much different discussion to have. But my gut says that right now the issue is these aren't lining up because these are just radically different sizes as far as the image itself is concerned. But the one thing I was going to mention is when we get over here and we go to done, there's not a lot here. And I think this is you're missing the advanced editor, and I think this is the difference between the personal account and the business account. So if I go over here to Lisa's, and I'll just take a look at Lisa's for a second. I just want to give, it's less about her site and more about the tools available. If we go to the website, come on, Squarespace. You see here you've got a much bigger drop down of options. And there's a lot of customization that's available here. It's still not total customization. So I want to preface that right away. So if we go into design and we go down to custom CSS, we can go in here and it's actually less important to do custom CSS here and more important to do it on pages like this. Like I've always found Squarespace's CSS to be, or type to be, really small. But if we came in here and we wrote custom CSS and we said, okay, paragraphs are going to be font size 10 pixels, you can see it shrinks it, right? But you can just as easily do that and it grows it. But that's, and here's how you do line height. Line height 1.1 to, that's too tight. I don't like that at all. But you can't do these sorts of granular edits. Semicolon. You can't do these edits in just regular Squarespace. They just don't work. So that's something I would consider. So that's pretty nice. But when you consider, here's what Squarespace gives you out of the box. Bleh. So anyway, I wanted to show you that the question here is, I'm going to cancel that because we don't want to save that in Lisa's design. The question here that you have to think about is, do you want to make that leap, or is this Squarespace really meant to be like a temporary holding space for you to build out your idea, get your content together, and then go build the real one. Okay? So just food for thought. I want to throw that out there. It's not something that you have to act on right now, but I did want to show you, like, there's more to unlock over here than what you're currently getting. And if you're craving more control, that's available to you for an extra $6 a month. Yay, Squarespace. Anyway, just throwing that out there. And that actually is going to do it. So, Ricardo, let's see here. Okay, so that's going to do it. Ricardo, we need to focus more broadly on the idea that look at that stakeholder brief. They're wanting to return to regular operations, but how do they do so safely? What recommendations do you have? This is not about building a specific app. All right, so remove that. This is about business operations, and it's about product design. What products can we safely offer? Okay, what products are not going to endanger our clientele? Bryn, great instinct. You need a filter at the top that will siphon people off into their own branches of your survey. Okay, what's that look like up top? And then Maddie, the images that you have, I think they need to be streamlined, same size. And then if you're looking for more control, you may need to elevate to the higher level. The controls are pretty simple when you're in the lower tiers, and but that's a conversation we can have a bit later. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up for today's edition of the Feedback Loop. I hope this has been beneficial and helpful to you. It always is to me. I'm Chris Cordy, and I will chat with many of you later today, and I will see the rest of you tomorrow. Take care.